I live my life, they live vicarious. Always go high when they try to bury us. I'm not a vibe, I'm an experience. Feel me? Things on my mind, I guess I share it. I think it's time to become a parent. I don't got mine, and plus I've been scared that having a child is gonna interfere with all of the goals I have for career. When I get my own, I gotta be there. Can't be like Joe and go disappear. Missed out. It hurt the most when you really do care. I know that apathy cover the fear. Can't run away from the pain that won't heal. The only way you could get through is to feel. Got one more year and I'm out of the deal. Might go independent and do it like Dale. Bet on myself, I don't think I could fail. Cause I'm on the wave, when I ship it gon' sail. Yeah, ain't too many people out here that's free. If I could be anyone, I'd be me. I don't waste time hating on nobody. I'm too busy working on me. I won't tell the truth about you just as long as you don't try to lie on me. Don't stress on it, just breathe, yeah. Don't stress on it, just... It's a lot of married men in the NBA. Got shorties in cities on NDAs. Lord, keep your hand on MPJ. Daddy gon' keep his pants on and behave. I don't wanna see him turning out like Dwight. Started off right, then he lost his light. Said that he would do all things through Christ. I mean, he did do all things. Yikes. Never really had respect for no rappers who give away money and they do it on camera. Exploiting poor for PR stunts. I respect them all if it's on the hush. I mean, what's the motive? When you do something good but you need everybody to notice. I don't know, bruh. I just wonder if they do the same thing when the cameras ain't rolling. This got me hot. Men get their body count up, they belt get a notch. I don't understand. Y'all call him the man. A girl do the same. They call her a thought. Give it some thought. Y'all gotta stop pulling up to these protests and you hop out. Get you a sign, take you a shot, then post it online like a photo op. Can't sit by and watch. I'm not Jerry Falwell. That might've just cost me a bag from over there, all well. When all of them cards dealt, I got aces and kings inside of my deck. I looked down and Steph just shot me a text. I go for the heart like Owen and Brett. Some things I gotta get off my chest. It's funny how all of these companies, all of us. Hey, did you miss me? Okay, we back. We are so back. I've been around the world a few laps since the last time we spoke. My bad for that, but okay, we back. We are so back. I took a little time for me. Okay, now it's time to eat. Look, where you been, Andy? It's been a while. I'm buying cribs, chilling out, picking towel, don't you dare talk to me loud, it's not allowed. I'm the only person that I'm trying to make proud. When you got bigger than life visions, you can't get distracted by all the side missions. They say it's all family until it's just business, but I don't walk on water, so I don't burn bridges, dog. They say I'm too big for my britches. Nah, I'm double platinum, my wrist just isn't. Never been the type that'll spend on blinging, but I got some nice chairs at the crib you can sit in. I'm feeling like Vincent McMahon with two torn quads. I can't stand y'all still doing my job. All feelings aside, the realest is gonna survive. How they spending time talking about me online when you know darn well that your car got declined. I look as dumb as y'all if I ever did respond now. They outside of my shows with picket signs. If everybody love you, then you ain't did it right. Okay, we back. We are so back. I've been around the world a few laps since the last time we spoke. My bad for that, but okay, we back. We are so back. I took a little time for me. Okay, now it's time to eat. Big job like a macho from the top rope. When I'm gonna stop, only God knows. I could see the world better with my eyes closed. Fresh off the plane from Japan, arigato. I already did a lot, but I'm trying to hit the lot. Cause I wanna go and cop twin Broncos. So me and my bros could ball like the I chose. And we chillin' in the seating that I chose. I mean the Eames Lounge at the Giatano. PC, we outside ATL Peachtree, where everybody keep a tool like a GC. And why they swearing that they hard, they got ED. Not you talking about me from the cheap seats. Looked up, I could not even see y'all like Stevie. And I don't mean to be preachy, but worthy is the lamb. Past the Tzatziki. Okay, we back. We are so back. I've been around the world a few laps since the last time we spoke. My bad for that, but okay, we back. We are so back. I took a little time for me. Okay, now it's time to eat. Look.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hey, I'm so excited to be back with you guys. If you are new to my channel, my name is Tyler. I am an ethical hacker by day and kind of an ethical hacker by night as well. But I have been on a 40-day hiatus, a break of no content, no streaming. I've been working on things, a lot of things, honestly, behind the scenes, but have not jumped on camera, have not made a video. It's it is the longest I have gone without making content, I think, since I started my channel 3 years ago. I'm trying to think if that's correct. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I know I've taken other breaks, but I don't think I've taken this long of a break with absolutely no content. So, hey, super excited to be back. A big thank you to all of you taking the time to hang out with me. Also, no one is complaining in chat that I can see now. If anything sounds off or looks off, please let me know, because like I said, it has been 40 days. I did some quick testing before jumping on stream, making sure everything seemed to work good on my end, but I don't have a good way to monitor the stream. So if anything looks off, sounds off as we go, please let me know. Did I lose some weight? I don't know if I lost weight. I box all the time, but I don't weigh myself, so I could not tell you. Couldn't tell you what I weigh accurately right now, but appreciate it. So guys, before we dive into things, no, he just left, exactly. So many things have happened in the past 40 days. And there was things I wanted to make videos about. I saw the one YouTube video that blew up about some guy going off on cybersecurity YouTubers. There was some other craziness in the news. You had the CVE, almost the death of the CVE program, all things that I wanted to make videos on, but I was like, all right, I need to just take the time. I need to chill. John Hammond can make a video on it, right? Which he did. And Tiberius can make a video on it, right? It doesn't need me. But it does feel good, guys, to be back. One kind of exciting thing that I can tell you right now, not really hot off the press, but I haven't shared this fully yet, but I have my intro to AWS Pentesting Course. It's hopefully going to come out in a few weeks. Early access will be, I think, in 2 weeks, and then the full course is coming out a week after that. Guys, here's my plan. Might be ambitious, but I'm not easing myself back into streaming. I will be streaming for the next 7 to 8 days, at least that is my plan. We are going to work through the entire course. I'm recording all of it while I hang out with you guys. So you're kind of like the live studio audience. And I'm going to show you everything that goes into making a course like that. You'll see me do retakes. You'll see me create the footage. I'll show you my full notes, full open book. You can see everything that's going to go into that course. Of course, you won't get the nice everything laid out for you, but if you purchase a course or join on Kofi, you're able to get that, or there'll be unlimited membership. So maybe real quickly, before we dive into other things, let me share with you this course for those of you who have been living under a rock. Give me just a moment. I got to flip some things around on my monitors. And I'll just go ahead and preview this curriculum. Oh, come on. All right, 1 second. Let me edit curriculum and then preview. All right, there we go. Okay, let me get chat pulled back up. So here it is, y'all. Here's the course that I'm going to be streaming live. We're going to work through this together, and I'll show you my full teaching method. But here it is. We have Introduction to AWS Pentesting. Now, one big change I made over these 40 days, one of the big questions I was trying to figure out is what is the goal of my content? I don't just want to randomly make YouTube videos. I want something I'm aiming for in a way to truly help people go from point A to point B. And I've been experimenting with courses. So I released my first course, I think 2 months ago, which was an introduction to hacking methodology. That was free, have over 2,000 students in it with a pretty decent completion rate, especially for a free course. The completion rate for my free course is at 30%. And if you look at statistics, that's high even for a paid course. So that's amazing. Thank you for all of you who have gone through that course or recommended it to other people. But now I want to really take it to the next level with this AWS Pentesting course. And a big part of it is I was going to make this course as well completely free, but after talking to a few different people, so Ange over from Discord, also on the TCM team, also chatted with Tiberius about this in the past, my friend Jerry over at Simply Cyber, I thought, hey, I can make a course that to charge a small amount for and yet still make sure there's no paywalls. So I know that sounds like a contradiction, but here's how we're doing this. Number one, I'm making this entire course while live streaming. And this is, of course, accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to hang out and tune in. But number two, this course is only going to be $20 for lifetime access. No silly subscription you have to do, $20 for lifetime access, and I will continually be updating the course. So it will be a living and an active course if you do that $20 for access. But here's the thing. In addition to that, I have unlimited scholarships available. So if you want to take this course, but let's say you're from a different country or you're just in a tough spot financially and you can't afford that $20, that's totally fine. I'll have instructions in the course description when it releases on how you can send me an email, and I will send you a scholarship, no questions asked at all. And that will give you the course 100% free, just as a way of giving back to the community. So there is going to be a $20 price tag for this course, but like I said, unlimited scholarships. I don't want the price to deter anybody from being able to go through the content. And finally, what I'll tell you, and I'm going to show you the full curriculum in just a moment, but this type of course, like, I don't see anything like this out there besides some uber expensive courses in the hundreds of dollars. And this is literally $20. I mean, I don't think you can beat that for a course on AWS pen testing. Now, before I show you guys the curriculum, let me look at chat. Where's the course? You want the link? Okay, I'll drop you the free course here. This course I'm showing you guys right now is not live. You can't go to it, but I will grab the free course real quick. 1 second. Academy.simplycyber.io. I think it's not in my history for some reason. Let me see if I can get it here. Hey, I did it. All right, let me drop this in chat for you guys. All right, so the Introduction to Hacking Methodology is a completely free course. You can go enroll in it right now, and you'll be good to go. But here it is. Introduction to AWS pen testing. Guys, let me just show you this full curriculum, everything that we're going to cover over the next 7 to 10 days, depending on how long it takes for me to record it. But you can see we'll have a welcome, just your typical welcome stuff. We're going to configure a full lab environment. And it's going to be kind of two different things. Whoops, I didn't mean to close that. You're going to create a free tier AWS account. So I'm going to walk you through that step by step. We're going to set up budget alerts so you don't leave stuff running and get yourself pwned. We're going to install and configure the AWS CLI command line interface. We're going to install both CloudGoat and Paku. CloudGoat is like a vulnerable AWS environment. You can spin up different scenarios to learn AWS pen testing, and Paku is sort of like Metasploit for the cloud. And then we're also going to create free accounts on both Cyber and Vone Labs. Cyber and Vone Labs are kind of like the hack the boxes for the cloud. They have some cloud resources for free that you can spin up on the spot. So what we're going to cover tonight is all of this. My plan is to record videos for every single one of these parts tonight. So get ready. Get ready to get started learning AWS pen testing. But then you can see from there, we're going to cover IAM, or Identity and Access Management. I am the admin now. That's me attempting to be clever. I have the basics of IAM for pen testers, lab setup, and then we're going to go through some different types of enumeration. There's going to be a challenge lab and then a walkthrough of the challenge lab. We're going to do Your Bucket is Leaking. Once again, me trying to be clever, but also inspired by one of our mods' usernames on Discord, but is attacking S3 buckets, right? So same thing, basics, S3 for pen testers, introduction to the lab, and then how to do it, a challenge to do, and then a walkthrough of the challenge. We're going to do dysfunctional functions, which is attacking Lambda functions. Similar things again. I'll explain what Lambda functions are from really basics, and then how pen testers use it. We'll do a full lab setup. We're going to have multiple challenges. One is enumerating Lambda, then a walkthrough, another challenge, then a walkthrough. We have another section here in EC2. My other computer is your EC2, attacking EC2 instances. Similar setup as the other ones, also followed by a challenge and a walkthrough. Finally, we'll have section 7, which is AWS privilege escalation. And you can see all the information there. I think I have a challenge one for this. I may need to add it to the curriculum. And then finally, at the very end of the course, we have 2 full capstone challenges, Beanstalk Secrets and SNS Secrets. These are actually scenarios I personally designed and made, and the capstone challenge will be you going through that without my guidance, but there will be a detailed walkthrough video for each one of those capstones. But a big part of those capstone challenges is I want you to start making your own content. So that's going to be a big part of the capstone. I want you to detail your method of going through it in a blog post or a video. Share it, tag me. I would love to promote you, but just to get you started with making or producing some type of content on your own. And then finally, we'll have a course conclusion. And there's some unknowns on this. I'm still confirming all the details for this. Before the course conclusion, I think I have some really cool gifts for those of you who make it through the full course. I would say this is about 90% done. One thing I can say for sure is for those who go through the course, you'll get a 25% off discount for a premium membership over at Vone Labs, so you can continue your cloud journey over there. You'll also get a 25% discount on Cyber, another incredible platform, and this is the one I'm in conversation on, but I think they'll say yes to it, but I'm working on Try Hack Me to also give me a 25% discount on their cloud training. All right, so this course, $20 for lifetime access or unlimited scholarships, no questions asked. I don't want money to be a barrier. So as you can see, this is not just some course I've kind of threw together. I've spent a lot of the past 40 days working on this in the background, detailing the things that I want to cover and trying to do it from a realistic angle. I do AWS Pentesting as part of my day-to-day job. So like this is a big part of what I do, and you'll get it from that perspective. All right, let me go back to sharing my screen. I see a lot of stuff in chat. I saw a few people asking about the course. This course is not out yet. We are going to start filming the course tonight on stream. You're going to watch me hit record. You guys are in the studio audience, and you get to be here and hopefully watch the magic happen. So good to have you here. All right, one other thing, guys, I want to talk about. Let me go ahead and get this pulled up. What is making all of this really possible is the generosity of a few people. And here is, whoops, this is not where I wanted to open it. Give me 1 second. Oh, do I not have, So I set up a brand new Kali VM for this course, so I haven't configured it at all, and I can't copy and paste. Even though it's set to bi-directional, I might have to see if I can fix that. I will have to fix it. Oh well, I'll just show it to you on here first. Let me grab this stuff. Almost back to sharing my screen. Okay, here we go. Let me get chat pulled up. Cool, sure, thank you, yeah. Hack smarter, not harder. That's what's up. So guys, the other big thing I started over this break is a Kofi membership. Oh, it says streaming now. How does it know I'm streaming? Oh, that's amazing. I didn't even know it did that. Anyways, is a Kofi membership, which is a way that you can give to creators without, Kofi doesn't take any of the money. They just send it directly to PayPal, or I have Stripe set up as well. And I literally didn't think anyone would actually give, because like I do so many things for free, and yet people have been incredibly generous. So if you want to support what I'm doing with these super accessible and affordable courses with the unlimited scholarships, you can support me here on Kofi. I just dropped a link over in the chat, but I have a few different membership levels. You can see for $10 a month, it's just like, hey, thank you, Tyler, for the content that you make, and I'll give you a shout out, which I'm going to give a bunch of shout outs in just a moment. I have the Hack Smarter Learning Plan for $35 a month. That will give you access to all my courses as they release. So my Intro to Hacking Methodology, that's free, of course, but I have Intro to AWS Pentesting, planning for May 2025, Hands-on Phishing, planning for July 2025, Practical CVE Hunting, if CVEs are still a thing, in September 2025, and then finally Pentest Report Writing in November of 2025. So that will allow you to do that. Oh, so Nox Lumens, I fixed that. If you guys try to sign up right away, you could only use PayPal. I didn't realize I had to set up Stripe myself. So that's all set up. So you can use PayPal, card, whatever you want to join membership. And then finally, there's Hack Smarter support, which is amazing that 10 people signed up for this. But this, you'll get access to beta test all my courses. So my goal is to have this course ready for release or early access on Monday, May 5th, like fully configured, and those in the Hack Smarter support plan will get beta access to it, and I will design the course based on their feedback. So those are the different membership levels here. If you want to support what I'm doing, you can also just do one-time gifts, and either way, seriously appreciate it. So it's over in the chat. You guys can check that out. Now what I want to do though, and I won't have to do it this long every time, but I told everybody if you give, like I will give you a shout out. So let me get all the members pulled up here. Too many things going on here. All right, let me pull this over here. I'm not going to share my screen and show you everybody's like full names, but I'll give kind of first names starting with like the top giver. So one is, and this person's on Discord, so I think it's good with me using his name, but I want to give a huge thank you to Yarman Hunter. He right now has given the most out of everybody. So dude, thank you so much. Also, Jimmy Barrios has given a significant amount. Thank you, Jimmy. We got William K as well. Thank you, William. I got Brett Mayo or Toxic. Is Toxic in chat? I know he's often hanging out on stream, but thank you, Toxic, as well. I got Patrick P. Thank you, Patrick. We worked through the AWS challenge from Vone Labs together. I want to give a thank you to Pete as well, Hack Smarter support plan. I want to give a thank you to Abby Shack, if I'm saying that right, another Hack Smarter support plan. Once again, that's $50 a month or more, so you guys are amazing. Thank you to Madeira, Hack Smarter support plan. Victoria, if I'm saying that right, once again, Hack Smarter support plan. Thank you. I got Rook as well, Hack Smarter support plan. You are amazing. I got Robert Mueller in the Hack Smarter learning plan. I got Henna Sunflower, Hack Smarter Learning Plan, GR Cypher, Hack Smarter Learning, D Mayer, Hack Smarter Learning, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jer Berries, if I'm saying that correct, Hack Smarter Learning. I'll go with it, Hack Smarter Learning. David Chan, Hack Smarter Learning, thank you. We got VL Pet for Hack Smarter Learning, Willie A for Hack Smarter Learning, Kimberly Can Fix It for Hack Smarter Thank You Plan, thank you, thank you. Ella Tora for the Hack Smarter Thank You Plan, The Real Bilbo for the Hack Smarter Thank You Plan, and that is the full list there, but also a bunch of one-time gifts, and I don't know if I can sort it by that. Let me see if I can. I can, so from what I can see now, and if you just gave now, I don't know if it pops up, but we got Philip and Matthew Abrahamson, Dan, Jarbeen, Nitish, Nox Lumens. What is up, dude, in chat? Thank you so much for your generosity. Cornelius, you guys are all amazing. I mean, way more people have been willing just to be generous than I could ever have imagined. So thank you so much. And guys, what a big reason behind this, and I spend a lot of time talking to different people. Shout out to Joe Hudson. I'm sure many of you know Joe Hudson, a fellow rapper, of course, but spent some time talking to him, some other people, and just I have something I want to launch in 2026 that will benefit the entire community. Can't share what it is yet. I wish I could, but the time will come. I need to adjust my light here. But something I'm going to launch that will hopefully benefit everybody, but it's a little bit bigger than I can just keep self-funding like I do everything else. So that's why I opened up Kofi. That's why I'm working on this courses. I'm not actually touching any of the money myself. I set up an entire LLC. So like I have a whole separate legal organization, whole separate bank account. All of it's going into that LLC. The only thing I'm paying is taxes when I need to pay out of that, but I'm not touching any of that money. It's all being put in that account for a larger project I'm hoping to launch in 2026. So those are all the big updates, guys, from the past 40 days. How are you guys doing? What's new in your world? Anyone have like some fun wins that happened the past 40 days? If you get a job, knock out a cert, we'll love to hear from you. Also, if you guys have any questions about pen testing or career stuff, I'll take just a few minutes to answer questions as I get some things ready for the actual course recording. So talk amongst yourselves or talk in chat. I'll keep my eye on the chat as I move some things around on my end. Thank you, Biscuit. Appreciate it. All right, I need to figure out why I can't copy and paste. How much did you miss us? Oh, dude. That's cool. So the Kofi stream bot just talked in chat. I didn't even know that was possible. Dude, Nefos, Thank you so much for becoming a member, dude. You are amazing. And so when I set up Kofi, they had a Twitch integration, but I didn't know if it worked. Oh, and it worked on YouTube too. No way. So it works on YouTube and Twitch. That's so cool. Nefos, thank you, thank you, thank you. Amazing. Okay, chat. Cool Kofi bot. I know the Kofi bot's cool. Tyler, what do you think about Vone Labs merging with Hack the Box? I don't know. I made a LinkedIn post about this. I really love Vone Labs. Now, if you guys have never heard of Vone Labs, they're kind of like a more advanced version of Hack the Box created by XCT, one of the top Hack the Box players, has an incredible talent at creating realistic red team labs, had really large networks on there, all for like $16 a month as standard membership. I mean, just incredible value, incredible labs. And I think it was on April 2nd, he announced that Hack the Box had purchased Vone Lab and was becoming part of Hack the Box. And my honest thoughts are, I'm not a fan. Like, from XCT's standpoint, it makes total sense. Like, kudos to him. He built something amazing, and he's now working for Hack the Box full time as creating content. So I think that's going to up the content on Hack the Box. What I don't like about it is Vone Lab was way more affordable than Hack the Box. The issue with Hack the Box is you have the free stuff to get access to active labs. But if you want access to retired machines, you need the VIP membership. But if you want access to retired machines without other people screwing with your stuff, you then need the VIP Plus membership. Oh, but if you want access to the large labs, well, then you need an additional subscription of the Pro Lab subscription. And then if you want access to their cloud stuff, you need another subscription of a business enterprise subscription. That is just annoying, to say the least. With Vone Lab, it was like $16 a month, access to everything, including the big labs, including personal instances on the standalone machines, and just, I don't know. That sucks. It is what it is. I love Hack the Box. Friends with a lot of people at Hack the Box, but just leave Vone Lab alone. Like, come on. That's my thoughts, honestly. Jason said, just passed my Security Plus the other day. Congratulations. That is amazing. Tyler wants to open his own website, Bet 2026. Not a training website. I will not be competing with like Try Hack Me or any of them. For pivoting, what tool will you suggest? Chisel is a tool that always works well for me. What up, Zach? Gene said, bought a domain name to build a blog site for my web write-ups. Amazing. Hey, that's a huge win. Congratulations on that. 1ZZ said, I did my CBBH. Amazing. The certified bug bounty hunter on Hack the Box. Awesome job. If you haven't done a blog post or a video, you should, and you should tag me in it. I would love to watch it. What up, Cyborg Hacker? Yeah, Cyborg Hacker. I think that's what I was supposed to say in lead speak. Also waiting for you to solve Red Team Labs on Vone Lab. I have been working through them, but you can't stream Red Team Labs from Vone Lab. At least not like the networks. Yeah, I agree, Carterbach. What up, Joe Hudson? I was just talking about you a little bit ago, dude. Good to have you hanging out in chat. What up, Bolt? What up, Teraflops? Yeah, Nefos. Me and Nefos talked about this offline on Discord. Thoughts on the TCM drama? Which drama are you talking about? Here's what I can say about the TCM drama. TCM is amazing, and many people are not. So I know there's been a few different things with TCM. One was that person getting a lifetime ban from TCM, and they claimed it was because of a meme. I know the people at TCM personally. I can tell you it was not because of a meme, but I also know that TCM is limited on what they can share for legal reasons. But I think Heath did a good job explaining some of the background, at least as much as he could explain on the situation. But I'm a huge fan of TCM. I think the other thing that I saw was people leaking pirated material from TCM. And actually someone tried to share pirated material in the Hack Smarter Discord a few days ago. And I just made a post in our Discord being like, dude, don't be a freaking idiot. If you share copyrighted material from TCM or OffSec or whatever organization it is, you will get banned, no questions asked, and I'm going to take your stupid Discord name and submit it to that organization. And one silly freaking person on Discord, I'm guessing it was more of a joke, but you know how you can do a reaction to a post? They reacted with 1984, the freaking book about controlling people's thoughts and limiting free speech. Now, you can be as critical as you want about any of those organizations in my Discord. You can be critical about me, like, do whatever you want. But like, me telling you not to share pirated material is not limiting your free speech. It's just telling you not to be a douchebag, right? So if you have an issue with that, find a different Discord community. The other big part of that is that's against Discord's terms of service. So like, for example, in the Hack Smarter Discord, if people are sharing copyrighted crap, the whole Discord can be punished or the whole Discord can be removed. So if you want to be that stupid person, don't do it in Hack Smarter. Sharing copyrighted pirated stuff is not hacking smarter. It's just you being an idiot. So from my perspective, the TCM drama, from everything I can see, TCM is in the right, and the people crying like little crybabies are in the wrong. And if you are one of those crybabies, that sucks. This is my stream. I can say what I want about you, but those are my thoughts on the TCM drama. If I offended you, I don't care. What it do, J Money? Good to have you here. You're one of the OGs from the beginning of the streams. All right. Free speech. Yep. Now my cat's down here hanging out with us. All right, I'm going to see if I can figure out why I can't copy and paste from one machine to the other. I have everything set on as being bidirectional. I'm going to see. Oh, what? The Kofi bot even chats randomly about the membership? Dude, that's so amazing. I feel like I'm a real Twitch streamer now. I never knew how to use all those Twitch bots, but I accidentally set up a Twitch bot. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, cat, chill. See if I can figure out why I can't copy and paste. I'm going to try this again. Maybe I need to right-click copy for some reason. Dude, cat. All right, you can sit on my lap for a little bit. Did I get added to any Signal groups? I did not get added to any Signal groups. I don't use Signal. Oh, it's working now. It's copy and pasting now. We're good. All right, cat, you can't. Go upstairs. Do your own thing. I think that your cat got larger over the holidays. He's big, dude. He probably did get larger. You're probably right. And yo, we have like over 100 people on here. That's amazing. Thank you all for taking the time to hang out with me this evening. We're going to get into filming our live course in just a moment. I'm trying to think of what I all need to do. Like, you guys get to see the live background behind this. What is my cat's name? My cat's name is Smeagol. You know, like, if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, the Gollum, like, crazy crackhead looking thing, that reminded me of my cat. So now his name is Smeagol. He said a few different names, though. His government name when we got him as a kitten was Dracula, which I thought was a stupid name. Then we renamed him to Bandit. His name was Bandit for a while. Then his name was Baby Goat for a while because my daughter referred to him as a goat. And now his name is Smeagol or Baby Goat or Kitty or Kiki. He has many different names. He probably has an identity crisis each day, but that is my cat. Okay. Getting some things pulled up, getting the curriculum pulled up so I know what I'm talking about. Get my notes pulled up. Get chat pulled up. Okay, guys. I need to turn off chat. I apologize for that, but for the actual course filming, I don't want chat on because I never know what people might say in chat when I'm recording it for the course, and I don't want to have to re-record stuff. So I'm still keeping my eye on the chat, but what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to creating the course live and in real time. So you get to be here for ground zero of hopefully my very popular Intro to AWS Pentesting course. No idea if it will be popular, but I'm speaking it into existence. Once again, let me just show you guys what we're covering. Just a moment. Chat pulled up. What up, Nishinga? Good to have you here. All right, guys, here's what we're covering. So this is my course. Here, I'll preview it so it looks nicer. So here's the course that I'll be releasing hopefully in a few weeks. My goal for tonight is chapter 1, essentially, and chapter 2. So I want to create videos for every single one of these in order to stay on track. I have every module here set up for a specific number of days of recording so that I can stay on track. So we're going to start with this: welcome and expectations, then about me, and then prerequisites for the course. Got it? Got it. Okay, let me get this stuff ready. Got that. Okay. And you guys will see the way I make videos. I have a general idea of the things that I want to say, but I don't plan it ahead of time because I think it's more natural when I just wing it. So I never actually know what I'm going to say each time, but we're going to go ahead and dive in. You guys ready? Take number 1. This is going to be the video for welcome and expectations. Hit record, and I'll do it. Hey everyone, welcome to my course, Introduction to AWS Pentesting. My name is Tyler Ramsbey, and I'm super excited to have you taking the time to hang out with me for the duration of this course. What we are going to be covering in this course is, well, everything around AWS pentesting. But I do want to be clear, this isn't a beginner level course for those who are brand new to AWS. There are some good resources I will drop in the course notes for this section where you can start if AWS is brand new to you, but the TLDR is AWS actually has some free training that gives you an introductory cert to AWS and general cloud technology. That being said, if you are brand new to AWS, I don't want to dissuade you from going through the course. My goal is to slow down, explain everything with a lot of detail so that you are not lost as we are going through the course. The other thing I want you to have configured ahead of time is a Kali virtual machine. Oh, I need to stop right there, guys. Yeah, behind the scenes, you guys get to see it. I need to... Is it too late to add dark mode? Yeah, get your notes up, guys. Dark mode is available in the actual course thingy. I messed up what I need to cover in my welcome and expectations because I have a prerequisites for the course. The welcome, I just want to be a short welcome, and then I'm going to talk about everything that we are going to be covering. So I'm going to go ahead and get that pulled up here. And then I'm going to redo that. So this is the beauty of filming things. So we're going to redo the welcome. I'm going to get a drink of water. And yes, when you guys go through the course, if you buy the course and go through it, it'll be much nicer. There won't be all these random breaks in between it, but this gives you a glimpse of what it's actually like to make one of these courses. Well, you didn't see... Honestly, the hardest part about making the course is designing the course itself and getting all your notes prepared, but I've done that offline, so you don't need to watch me research and get all my notes right. But here we go. Let's do that again. Hey everyone, welcome to my course, An Introduction to AWS Pentesting. My name is Tyler Ramsbey, and I'm super excited to have you taking the time to hang out with me for the duration of this course. Now, this is not for those of you who are brand new to AWS. If you are brand new, I'll put some resources in the course notes on a place to start with AWS. But hey, even if you are brand new, I don't want that to dissuade you from going through the course. In my opinion, one of the best ways to learn is by doing. And as we go through this course, I don't think that you'll be lost at any step along the way. I'll do my best to slow down, explain what we are doing, and provide adequate background detail so that you can work your way through this course. Now, before we dive in, let me give you a real quick overview of everything that we are going to be covering. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to set up your lab environment. We're going to do this in a few different ways. We're going to create our own AWS account, as well as register accounts on 2 platforms that are free that I really enjoy. After that, we're going to go through on how to actually hack things. That's when the fun stuff really begins, and we'll first start talking about IAM permissions. Now, if that doesn't mean anything to you, that is okay. I will explain what IAM actually means in the context of the cloud. After that, we're going to talk about S3 buckets. You may have heard of those before, file storage for the cloud. We'll talk all about what S3 buckets are, how pen testers approach them, and how you can hack an S3 bucket. We'll also talk about Lambda functions, or kind of an oxymoron, serverless code, and what that even means and how you, once again, as a pen tester can attack it. From there, we will talk about EC2s, which is just Amazon's very special way of calling virtual machines. You'll notice that AWS likes to make up random terminology. It's confusing, but ChatGPT is your friend. Then finally, we'll talk about AWS privilege escalation. We'll kind of be touching on that throughout the entire course, but I wanted to have a full module explaining AWS privilege escalation. Finally, at the end of the course, you will have the opportunity to work through 2 capstone projects. These are AWS Challenge Labs designed by yours truly, and not only do I want you to go through them, I want you to start making your own content. I want you to create a write-up on a blog or make a video and tag me in it. I would love first just to watch or read through your content, but I would also love to share your content as you work your way through this course. So welcome to the course. That is where we are going. I will see you in the next section. Boom. All right, welcome and expectations are done. I'll do some minor editing to that, but that's a good spot to start. I'm just going to create a folder real quick, guys, in here so I can keep these organized. So I'm going to do intro to AWS Pentesting. I know you guys can't see my computer, and that's on purpose. I don't like showing my host machine. And I'm going to rename this Welcome and Expectations. All right, now we're going to do About Your Instructor. I'm not quite to my PowerPoints, which I don't really like PowerPoints, but we'll do a really quick About Me. Also, if you guys have questions as we go, I'll look at chat every time I'm done recording. So if you have any questions, I'll jump over here. Zoom in, please. I'll zoom in once I get to my actual screen. All right, we're gonna film. This will be a shorter one, like I'm a minute to 2 minutes about your instructor for those who don't know who I am as they're going through this course. Well, one of the most important questions you should ask yourself when going through a course on ethical hacking is, who the heck is teaching me? The reality is there's a lot of content creators, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of so-called influencers who make videos with a hacker mask and say, hey, here's how you can be a hacker. But when you look into their background, they've never wrote a pen test report. They have never done pen testing ever in their career. And you might ask yourself the question, why should I learn from you? And that's always a good question to ask. So a little bit about me. I am a pen tester by day. That is my day job. It's what I do every single day, Monday through Friday. And I'm a consultant. And what I mean by that is there's 2 different kinds of pen testing. You have internal pen testing, where you work for a single company, and you have consulting, which is where a bunch of different companies hire me. So I have hacked banks, I have hacked businesses, I have hacked hospitals all around the United States, and some even international, and I do all different kinds of pen testing. So I do web apps and APIs, I do mobile apps, Android and iOS, I do networks, internal and external, and I do cloud, AWS, Azure, and GCP. AWS pen testing is one of the big things I actually do more than the other cloud platforms, and I love getting into a customer's AWS environment and finding as many vulnerabilities as I can, not just so I can be a cool elite hacker, but rather so I can help the client secure their infrastructure before a real bad person does it to them. So I do this for my day job. Everything I'm going to share with you in this course does not come from me just doing random CTFs and pretending like I know what I'm talking about. I do sometimes pretend like I know what I'm talking about, but what I mean by that is anyone who has gotten into this field, you know that the more that you learn, the more you realize that there is so much more to learn. So this is very much an intro to AWS Pentesting course, but the things I am going to cover for you are things that I would expect someone to know to do AWS Pentesting. After you are done with this course, you're at a good spot to continue your learning journey and maybe do your first AWS pen test if you are a pen tester, or if you're trying to get into pen testing, you're in that interview stage. If you can bring up some of the things you learned from this course, it's going to make you stand out, because a lot of people do not know cloud pen testing because generally speaking, it's cost prohibitive to even take a course on it. You're looking at hundreds of dollars. But hey, you found this course, it is affordable, it is for you, and I hope you learn a lot in the process. little bit about me personally, because people sometimes like to hear about that. I live in a rural town. So that's the other cool thing, guys. The population of my town is 1,000 people. There are more cows than people. So if I can become a pen tester, you also can become a pen tester. I have a wife. I have 2 kids, an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old at the time of this recording. If you look behind me, you can see that my backdrop is all my kids' pictures. Other YouTubers have like their fancy lights. I just tell my kids, hey, I have a fake brick wall. It's not real. I threw it up behind me, and my kids had the idea of putting their pictures up there. So I value my family way more than any of this silly career stuff, but outside of my family, I love hacking and I love teaching. So really hope you learned something from this course and would also love to connect with you. I'll drop a link to my YouTube in the notes for this module, but I stream live all the time, working through various challenges, cloud and on-prem and all of that good stuff. So hey, welcome to the course. It's super nice to meet you. I will see you over in the next one where we talk about some of the prerequisites that you need in place to be successful in this course. Boom. Another one down. Don't forget the cat. You're right. I did I did forget the cat. Okay, let me go ahead and grab this video and drop it in my new Intro to AWS Pentesting folder I made. We'll name this About the Instructor. Oh, if I could type. Instructor. There we go. All right, we have one more video in the module 1, welcome to the course, and that is the prerequisites for the course. And I actually have a PowerPoint for that. As much as I hate PowerPoint, it just kind of made sense for this first one. So let me go ahead and get this ready. Let's see what it looks like. Does it look good? It does look good. I can even make myself a little bit bigger down here. I'll make myself like that big when I switch over to it. All right. Another drink of water. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything in chat. I know, just people being very kind. Thank you guys for your kind words. Seriously. I really do appreciate it. All right, last part of our intro for the course. This is going to be filming the course prerequisites. Well, hey, you're probably super excited to dive into the meat of the course to begin setting up our lab, but I want to make sure you are successful in this course, and there are some very minor course prerequisites to make sure you are successful. Let's go ahead and dive into those. So number 1, you need to have a Kali virtual machine configured. Now, it doesn't have to be Kali. It can be Parrot. It can just be Ubuntu as well, and you can install all the tools that way. But everything I'm going to be doing in the course will be from the perspective of a Kali VM, just because it's the most popular Linux distribution for hacking. Now, setting up the Kali VM is outside of the scope for this course, but if you just use that magical tool of Google or ChatGPT and ask, hey, how do I install a Kali virtual machine in VirtualBox, which is what I use, it will guide you through it step by step. So that's step number 1. You want to make sure you have a Kali VM installed and ready to go. For this course, I set up an entirely fresh instance of Kali. I have not done anything to it besides updated it. So I'm going to guide you through every single tool that we need to install. I will show you me installing it and give you detailed steps on doing that on your Kali VM machine, so we can turn your Kali VM into an AWS hacking tool. Number 2 is you need some basic AWS knowledge. I talked about this in the beginning of the course, but if you are completely brand new to AWS and cloud, this may not be the best place to start. There's some free courses from AWS that you can begin with, but I say may not be. It might be. Like truly, one of the best ways to learn a subject is just to dive in. You might feel overwhelmed, but here is my encouragement to you. Take good notes, slow down, and ask questions. We have tools like ChatGPT and Gemini now. So if I say something that doesn't make sense to you, pause the video. You don't need to rush through to complete this course, and that's something I think people wrestle with. Whether it's a course or a machine on like Try Hack Me or Hack the Box, the goal is not to complete it as fast as you can. The goal is to learn in the process. So even if you are brand new to AWS, I think you'll get a lot out of this course, but you need to make sure you slow down, you do research, you look things up on Google, and then you continue the video once you are no longer stuck. And finally, I recommend you go through my Intro to Hacking Methodology course. This is kind of a build-up on that course. The Intro to Hacking Methodology course is available here on Simply Cyber Academy, the same spot you picked up this course on, and that course is completely free. So You have nothing to lose. Go through the Intro to Hacking Methodology course if you haven't already, and then after that, you can dive into this course, and we'll talk all about hacking AWS and getting into hacking the cloud. But that's everything that you need for course prerequisites. In the next section, we are going to dive into setting up our lab environment. We'll get hands-on keyboard. It will be a lot of fun. So once you have your Kali VM configured, once you've gone through the other course, meet me in the next section, and we'll start setting up our lab. Boom. Just zooming through these guys. Let me get out of here. And go back to external drive. Grab this. Drop this in here. And we'll rename this to 3 course prereqs. All right, let me look at chat. Good night, Tyler. Yep, I have an idea for the subtitles, Jose. I think I'll be able to figure it out. The AWS course is not out yet. Nope. So for those of you wondering, my plan is this. For the next week, we're going to film everything. Then I have to edit everything, and I have to add all the course notes. I plan on releasing this course for early beta access to my Kofi members, at least in the HackSmarter support plan, on Monday, May 5th. I plan on releasing this course to everybody on Monday, May 12th. A week later, those dates could be subject to change, but that's what I'm aiming for. That's the target on the wall that we're aiming for. Do I have a teleprompter? No. I wing it every single time. Like what you guys just saw on my screen, that's everything I saw. I have no other notes pulled up here. I usually just take some bullet points and then do my best to explain the bullet points. I think that makes it feel more natural. But I've also done speaking for a long time. So for those of you who don't know my full journey, I was actually a pastor for 10 years, and I started a church, did preaching, teaching every single week. And even when I did that, I did it without notes. I would get up in front of people for about 45 minutes, do a lot of study leading up to that, but I would just get up and talk, not preach at you, but just talk and share my thoughts as I was working through something. So I've done a lot of talking in my life and in my career. So when it comes to technical stuff, it's the same thing. I just have some bullet points I want to talk about, and I just wing it from there and give you my natural way of speaking. I don't know if I have a photographic memory. It's not that I really memorize things, but I don't know. It's one of my giftings. There's things I suck at, like using tools. I'm terrible at screwdrivers and hammers tools, but I'm good at speaking, and I'm good on the academic level. I was actually working on a doctorate on theology, philosophy, that kind of thing when I switched over to cyber. I used to work at a graduate level, teaching students as a teaching assistant. I would lecture for literally 3-hour classes. I would lecture for an hour, 10-minute break, lecture for an hour, 10-minute break, lecture for an hour. So I've just done a lot of talking even before breaking into cyber. Yeah, I agree, Valbav. That's my goal. We'll take those coaches out. All right. What we are going to do now, and this is going to require a little bit of setup on my end, and that's creating our free tier AWS account. So, everything I need. All right, give me a second here. This is the beauty of you guys being in the live studio audience. You get to see the full process. All right. Now, you guys... Oh, do I have a video on that journey? I don't think I have a video on the journey, Danielle. I did do an interview with Tiberius over on his channel where I talk about it. I don't know if I've made a full video on it, but I should. So what we're going to do now is set up our free tier AWS account. I think this will work, but I've set up too many of these accounts that I don't know if my credit cards and stuff will work properly for me. But I have a few different cards. We're going to try to make it work. I'm obviously not going to share my card number on stream, but I'll show you guys how we do it when we get to that point. How can I make cool YouTube videos without extreme streaming tools? It depends what you mean by cool, but I don't have any cool streaming tools. I'm literally just using OBS right now, which is free. And I'm using a $60 webcam. My microphone's really nice. And I'm using a fake brick wall because I work in an unfinished basement. So if I can do it, you can do it. What I've learned about YouTube is audio quality is much more important than video quality. People can forgive bad video, but if your audio sounds like you're talking through a freaking window on the other side of the wall, they're not going to watch your videos. So focus on audio quality. I'm not sure if Gmail +1 works for AWS. I think they catch that, Johnny. But I have a separate email. You guys will be able to see my super secret LLC email. The LLC, I'm going to use my LLC account to create this free tier account because I already have multiple accounts on my other emails. And guys, I couldn't even make another Gmail. I tried to make a Gmail account for this, but I've used my phone number too many times because I have too many throwaway Gmail accounts. I've never noticed it's a fake wall. Yeah. My basement is just like, here, I'll show you guys this. I literally just an unfinished basement, right? There's insulation behind me. So like all those streamers who spend all their money on those fancy backdrops, you don't need it. Yeah, my camera is the C920 by Logitech. Here, I'll grab a link for you. I think it's like $60. Blink twice if you need a breakout. Yeah, so my webcam, $69 right now on Amazon. Logitech C920. That's what I use for my webcam. If audio is bad or sound is monotone, not good. Exactly. Like, audio quality is what's important. And if you wear a Hacks Murder shirt, that also helps you stand out. If you want to get a Hacks Murder shirt, let me drop a link in chat. Store.hacksmarter.org. You can go get your Hack Smarter gear. I sell those at cost to me, so I'm not even making money on the swag. But here, go to store.hacksmarter, get your Hack Smarter swag. Here's the one I'm rocking right now, this long sleeve shirt, Hack Smarter. But I have all of this, so go buy some. My Easter was good. The weekly live stream is going to staple my week, an excuse to keep learning. Love it. Well, I'll be streaming for the next 7 days without a break. So good to have you back here. And look, I'm massive, y'all. I don't need to make my face this big now. Let's adjust this before I start filming the next video. We'll put me over there. All right. Need to make sure this is the right link. I'll drop it to you guys in chat if you want to follow along. It is the link, so I'll drop that in chat. Okay. I'll show you guys, for those of you who might be tuning in, let me just do a quick refresher. I'll show you where we're all going tonight and what the total curriculum looks like. Let me grab chat. So here's what we're working on, guys. I'm filming my Intro to AWS Pentesting Course in real time. You are the studio audience. We have completely finished Module 1.0, Welcome to the Course. All these three. Now we're switching over to Module 2.0, and my goal is to get through all of this tonight. This is going to be tomorrow, but tonight will be this one. So we're going to film creating a free tier AWS account, then setting up budget alerts, then configuring the AWS CLI, then CloudGo and Paku, and then finally creating free accounts on Cyber and Vone Labs. So this is where we are heading over the next hour or so. Will this be available to watch later? Yes. I mean, the full course, nicely designed course, will be available for you to go through, but all my live streams are available on YouTube. So if you don't follow me on YouTube, you guys should follow me on YouTube. Maybe real quick self-promotion. YouTube.com, Tyler Ramsbey. YouTube is my primary platform. I do stream on LinkedIn and Twitch, but YouTube is where all my videos show up afterwards. So if you don't sub to me on YouTube, you should. Oh, let me stop sharing my screen. I need to pull some things over. Get this curriculum back over to the other side of my screen. All right. Drink of water, then we'll dive in. All right, going to film creating a free tier AWS account. You guys are all welcome to follow along with this. Now the fun begins. We are finally going to set up our lab environment. And the first thing that we are going to do is create a free tier AWS account. I want to emphasize the free tier part of this. It is going to require a credit card, but as long as you do everything I'm going to show you in this video or in this section, it's not going to cost you anything. The worst case is you might have to pay 10 cents occasionally if you keep on launching these labs that I am going to show you. But I want to teach you how to kind of feed yourself. There's that ancient wording that, hey, if you give someone a fish, you feed them for a day, but if you teach them to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. If I just give you pre-made labs for you on AWS, you might learn something today, but I want to show you how you can spin up your own labs in your own AWS environment for a few different reasons. Number one, it just gives you interaction with AWS. But number two, the cool thing about the labs I'm going to show you is you can create them in your account, these vulnerable lab situations, but then you can approach them from both a red team and a blue team perspective. Now, the name of this course is Intro to AWS Pentesting. So I'm going to cover primarily the red team perspective, but every single one of these labs, one cool thing that you can do is first complete the lab, like hack your way through the lab, but then put on your blue team hat and do a root cause analysis and ask yourself, how could this be prevented on the blue team side of things? And then patch your own lab environment. Then put your red team hat back on and try to re-hack in and see if you stopped yourself. And doing that and documenting it or making a video about it, that's going to be super helpful, not only for you, but for anyone who watches your videos or reads through your blog. But it all begins with creating a free tier AWS account. Now, I will drop this link in the course notes, but it's just aws.amazon.com/free. So we'll go over to this, give it just a second, and from here, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see this all really good. I don't need questions, AWS representative. Let's go ahead and click create a free account. All right. Now we need to go ahead and do our root user email address and our AWS account name. I'll zoom in again right here. Now I've gone through way too many emails for AWS, so I'll show you guys my super secret LLC email. For those of you who are watching this, I set up an LLC recently because I have something cool I'm hoping to do in 2026, but this email doesn't really have anything to do with it. If you email this email, I won't respond to you because I don't actually check this email, but I set it up when I set up the domain. But I'm going to go ahead and do Tyler at kairossec.com. I think that's my email. Honestly, I'm not even sure if that's the right email. Let's see if it is. I'm going to double check. It is the right email. Okay, Tyler at kairossec.com, and we'll call this account name Intro to AWS Pentesting. We'll see if that works, and I'm going to click Verify Email Address. So once you do that, it should send an email over to your email. I'm going to check on my end, see if it came through, and it did. So you'll just get an email saying, hey, here's a code, verify your email. If you are watching this video, you are used to verifying your email for all sorts of services. I'm going to go ahead and verify my email. And it is you. It has been verified. So now you can go ahead and set up your root user password. And I'm just going to use, I'll use a basic password. You guys can go ahead and try to hack my account if you want to. But I recommend setting a strong password, of course. And we'll do continue. No, I don't want to save my password in the browser. And now we need to fill out some personal information about yourself. Now, for you doing this and following along with the course, you are creating a personal account. So make sure you mark personal. Finally, fill out this information. So my full name is Tyler Ramsbey. I am not going to give you guys my phone number on stream. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a moment, but encourage you to continue to fill out this information on your end so you can get it all done. After you do your phone number, you will do your address. Once again, you could probably just Google me and find it because my OPSEC is terrible, but I'm not going to make it easier for you. Fill all the information out, mark that you have read and agreed to the terms, and then agree and continue. Once you do that, you will get to the billing part of it. And this is where you do need a valid credit or debit card number. Now, you can use an international card. It should work regardless of what country you are in, but I'm also not going to share with you my credit card number live on stream and live in this video. So I encourage you right now, we'll go ahead and put in your information and fill out your billing address again, and you should be good to go. You know what I just did, guys? We're going to stop recording. I just showed you guys all. I just showed all of you guys my address, which is fine. Like I said, you could Google it and get my address, but I probably shouldn't include it in the course. So what I'm going to do is edit this video, and then I'll splice it up for the course itself. But like, I don't care if you guys see my address. If you Google Tyler Ramsbey, you'll be able to figure out where I live. Yeah, pixelate that one. Yeah, so I'm just going to split the videos up, and I will do it there. So here, I'm going to start recording again. All right, after that, you'll get to the billing page, and I'm, of course, not going to show you my credit or debit card number here in the video, but I encourage you to fill out that information for yourself. What I'm going to do is stop sharing my screen, and I am creating this free tier account right alongside of you, and so I'm going to stop sharing and input my information. I'm not going to show it to you or read it to you because that would be, very smart. But go ahead and enter in your information. I am doing it right alongside of you. Enter in your credit card number and then your expiration. The billing address, all of that fun stuff, and then click verify and continue when you are done with that part. Once you are finished with that, you need to confirm your identity. And this is just a text message to the number that you entered before so they can make sure you are a real person using a real phone number. So sign up for AWS, confirm your identity. Once again, I'm not going to give you my cell phone number as part of the course. That is not a benefit that you get from the course, but go ahead and do that information so you can confirm your identity. I'm going to do that right now, right alongside of you. And it's having me fill out a CAPTCHA. So if you fill out a CAPTCHA, just do that, obviously. And finally, you should get a code. And I'm going to enter my code and continue. Step 4 of 5. All right, we are almost done setting up the account. You can see, select our support plan. We want to do a free tier AWS account. We don't need developer support and we don't need business support. We can do our free account and we'll go ahead and click complete sign up. Stop sharing just in case it shows like, hey, confirming all my information. All right. We are good to go. Congratulations. Thank you for signing up with AWS, and congratulations to you. You just created a free tier AWS account. You are now an AWS cloud user, and you can spin up all kinds of resources in the cloud, but you want to be careful that you don't end up with thousands of dollars because you spun up an EC2 that you forgot about. So we will talk in the next video about how to set up budget alerts. But hey, congratulations. You just made a big first step in learning AWS and learning AWS pen testing. Once everything is set up, I will see you in the next video. All right. Outside of just like giving you guys my information, I'll edit some things together. Let me grab these videos real quick though and organize them. Whoops, I'll stop sharing my screen. Go back to my external drive. I'm going to grab these 2 videos, copy, drop them in the folder, and we'll just rename Free Tier AWS Part 1. Okay, cool. That one is done. I'll splice those videos together. It'll be fine. Let me check out chat and make sure I'm not missing anything. Bad OPSEC, yeah. It is what it is. And I would try to redo the video, but I really can't. Because once you set up the account, you can't obviously reset up a new account, and that's my last card number I have that's not connected to an AWS account. We can figure it out by your keystrokes, the password. You guys can hack this account. I don't even care. Can I send you a zip file with a password and not install a keylogger and log in again? Absolutely. What are we hacking today? I'm creating Tyler's AWS account. I'm working on my course in real time. You guys are seeing all the behind the scenes of my course. How do pro bounty hunters find bugs every day? What are they doing differently? They really focus in on a specific bug, but bug bounty feels scammy to me. What do I use to edit the videos? I use Shotcut to edit my videos. I'm not a great video editor in general. I try just not to screw up so I don't have to edit it much, but this is what I use. You could literally just use like the Windows Movie Maker thingy, but I'm on Ubuntu, so I can't use that. But you know, I just realized too, guys, I don't have ad blocker installed because this is like a brand new instance of Kali, so I'm going to install that real quick. Get some uBlock origin up in here. All right, there. All right, any other questions you guys have before we dive into the next section of this video? Or this course, rather. The next thing we're going to do is set up budget alerts. So I'm going to sign into the council. I think anyone going through this course should know how to sign in on their own, so I'm not going to walk them through how to sign in. And I'm also going to remember the exact spot for this. Yes, okay. Go here. You guys can watch me play around with this too. Blah, blah, blah. I think it's create a budget. It's been a while since I created a budget alert. Yep, budget name, separate emails. Okay, perfect. We can do a monthly cost budget. Okay, I'll walk through all that. Beautiful. Happy Easter. Thank you. You as well. All right, drink of water. I do want to say once again, guys, if you want early access to this course, like the nice version, all fully edited with all the notes and everything, you can get early access on my Kofi. Or if you just want to say thank you for this content that I'm doing for free right now, including giving you all my personal information on accident, you can donate on Kofi. All right, installing. Okay, setting up budget alerts. That's what we're going to do now. We're making a course, Zachary, all in real time on AWS Pentesting. Can we send postcards? Go ahead. All right. Here we go. We're going to start recording the next section of the course. Now, the reason a lot of people are afraid of the cloud and AWS in general is you may have heard the horror stories where you leave on an EC2, you leave on some type of resource, and all of a sudden you owe AWS $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000. You don't want to be that person. And there's a really easy way to stop yourself from being charged by your mistakes, and that is a budget alert. A lot of people create an AWS account to learn AWS pen testing, but they skip the crucial step of setting up an alert, and then they leave resources running, and they regret it. So I'm going to give you your money for this course, like the money you paid for this course. This video right here is going to make it well worth it. I will walk you through setting up a budget alert so that you are notified before you are charged by leaving something on accident. So go ahead and log into your AWS account. I don't need to show you that. I don't think you should know how to log in. But once you log into your AWS account, here is what the AWS console looks like. Now, what we are going to do is go up to the search up here, and I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit for you guys. And we're just going to type budget. And we can go here to budgets. And we are going to create a budget. Now, this is good life advice. If you don't have a budget for your life, you should set one up. And if you don't have a budget for your cloud resources, you should set one up. Otherwise, AWS will set one up for you, and you won't like the money that they charge you when you accidentally leave something on. We'll go ahead and click Create a Budget. And now we have a few different options here, but let's go ahead and keep this simple. If you want to do truly free tier, you can create a zero spend budget. Create a budget that notifies you once your spending exceeds 1 penny, which is above the AWS free tier limits, and we can do that. I'm pretty sure everything we are going to do with CloudGoat later on fits into the free tier, and as long as you remember to turn all of it off, it's not going to cost you anything. Worst case scenario, you might owe 2 or 3 cents, depending on how long you leave a lab running, but it really is that affordable. The reason a lot of cloud platforms are super expensive in cloud training, like from SANS and things like that, is because they will do this for you, but then things might be left on. But you can save a bunch of money on a bunch of training by just doing it yourself, and that's what I'm showing you how to do right now. So let's go ahead and create a zero spend budget and then put in your email right here. So I'm going to do tyler@kairossec.com, the email that we set it up for. If you want to do multiple emails, you can just do a comma and add multiple emails. We'll do tyler@kairossec.com, and we're going to go ahead and click Create Budget. And there, that's all you have to do. That will save you the $2,000 EC2 charge when you leave an EC2 on, and instead of just finding it 6 months from now, you will see it as soon as it costs you a penny. You'll get an email, you can log into your AWS account and shut down whatever that resource is on. But you just created a budget. You created budget alerts. So I know the biggest fear when going through AWS and setting up your own account is being charged money. I just saved you that. Go ahead and set up your free tier account, set up your budget alerts, and then join me in the next section as we continue setting up our lab. I will see you there. Boom. Another one done. Yeah, I'm making a course in real time. Let me go ahead and grab this video now. And this one is creating budget alerts. Collab with, actually, I talked to Ryan a little bit, both on Discord and also at DEF CON. Met up with him. Super nice dude. And we were talking about collaborating on a video. We just both get busy. He gives Network Chuck vibes. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I've done some content with Network Chuck. I was featured on his channel. Genuinely nice dude. Super nice. I don't have a cool enough beard, though, to be Network Chuck. And yeah, I don't drink coffee. Hey, Zachary, that's a good question. It only notifies you. It won't limit you. So you want to make sure you pay attention to that. I'll add that in the course notes. That's a good question, Zachary. All right, for those of you just tuning in, let me give you an overview of what we're doing. Let me bring this over here. I'll share my screen in a moment, and I'll give you guys another glimpse of everything that we're working on. So I'm working on this course, Introduction to AWS Pentesting Course, is going to come out on Monday, May 12th, and I'm filming it all in real time so you guys can see it. So we've completed all these videos. Welcome to the course. We're on section number 2. I want to finish all this section before the stream is over. We just did create a free tier AWS account. We just finished setting up budget alerts, and now we're going to install and configure the AWS CLI or command line interface. Then we'll get CloudGoat and Paku installed, and then finally we'll create free accounts on Cyber and Vone Labs. So we have 3 more videos to film in this section. I'm new to AWS. Is learning it that hard? Everything's hard learning. Like, learning anything is going to be hard. That's when you push through it. That's how I found your channel when you're on Network Chuck. Amazing. Well, good to have you here, Kyle. Native says, unfollowing. Just following coffee drinkers. That's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and install the AWS CLI, or the command line interface. Let me get the page pulled up. I'll also drop a link for you guys, and this will go in the course notes when the course releases. All right. Hey, it's good to be back. Thank you, Dinesh, for the kind words. Let's go ahead and record this video for the course, and this is installing the AWS CLI or command line interface. Now we are going to feel a little more like hackers. We're going to get hands-on keyboard in the terminal, and we're going to install what's called the AWS CLI or command line interface. This allows you to interact with AWS from, well, the command line. So there's really two different ways to interact with your AWS account. You have the console, which I just showed you in the past video when we set up budget alerts, but everything you can do in the console can also be replicated on the CLI or the command line interface. Now this is important because one of the things Amazon enjoys doing, besides making up terrible names for all their services so that you don't know what you're actually talking about until you Google it, the other thing they're really good about is changing things in the console and changing the UI. So there may be one thing you did in the console that all of a sudden has changed, but you can still do it from the terminal. It's also helpful to use the command line interface for any type of scripting or pen testing because you can easily pull output in JSON format, throw it into a report, or analyze it a little bit further. So installing the AWS CLI is not only important, I would say it is mandatory if you want to get into AWS pen testing. The cool thing about installing the AWS CLI is it is incredibly easy, and I will walk you through it every step along the way. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. This link should be in the course guide, but if you just Google how to install the AWS CLI, it will bring you to AWS's documentation and they guide you through it. So you can ignore all of this information as long as you haven't installed it before, and you can see it right here, AWS CLI install and update instructions. We'll go ahead and click Linux right here because we're on the Kali VM, and we'll scroll through, and here's the cool thing. We can just quite literally script kiddie our way through this. Go ahead and just copy this command right here. Let's open up our terminal. Whoops, not like that. I'll make this way bigger for you all. Get our terminal open, and I'm going to do Control-Shift-V. Now, if you're new to working on a terminal, Control-V doesn't paste, but Control-Shift-V does. And you can see what it's doing. It's just curling in order to download the .zip. It's going to unzip it, and then it's just going to run the install command from there. I'll hit enter on my keyboard, and we'll let it do its magic. It takes just a few minutes, if that, and then it will be done, and you should have the AWS CLI installed. Go ahead and put in your password when you are prompted. And we have it installed. We can do AWS -- version, and you can see we have the AWS CLI 2.26.5 installed, some Python information, our Linux information, but all of that is good to go. And hey, congratulations, you should feel a little more like a hacker. You now can add to your resume that you know how to work with AWS all from the command line with the AWS CLI. We'll be using this a bunch throughout the course. So even if it feels unfamiliar to you right now, it's all about building muscle memory. The more that you type out commands, the more you work in the terminal, the more you interact with AWS from the CLI, the more familiar it will feel. For me, I'm more comfortable from the CLI with AWS than I am from the console, just because I feel like in the console, they're always changing things. So if you feel a little bit lost, well, guess what? You installed the CLI. We're going to work on it. You will get it down. I believe in you. And next, we're going to install some cool tools. So I'll see you in the next video of this section. All right, another video down. Successful. Let me stop sharing my screen. You guys can see my freaking YouTube images. Hilarious. All right, external drive. Grab this. Drop it here. Installing AWS CLI. Good to go. Okay, I'm looking at chat. How much is the course? Yeah, $20, one-time purchase, lifetime access, and plus you're watching it for free right now. You're watching the live filming of it. Everyone's a script kiddie at heart. Absolutely. Are you spinning up a VM from AWS that is vulnerable or setting up your environment or something else? You'll find out shortly. Can you name best dark web monitoring tools, open source? I don't know any. I don't do dark web monitoring. In your experience, how dangerous is it to copy and paste commands from the internet? It is dangerous. Make sure it's from a reputable source. Like, we did that directly from AWS's documentation, so we're good, but don't just script kiddie things off from GitHub. Chill, cat. Chris said, hey, Tyler from the UK. First timer on one of your lives. Looking forward to the course when it's finished. The intro to pen testing was great and enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the kind words. Seriously. Appreciate your support. Appreciate your kindness. All right, y'all, let's look back over at our curriculum. We are now at the section of installing CloudGoat and Paku. This will be fun. What subset of... Oh, wait. You should add the thumbnail images to the Discord so we can react. I should add those. You're right. I should. Sparky said, what subset of pen testing do you recommend getting into? Feels like I want to learn it all, but not sure what to focus on. I would focus on web apps. Portswigger would be a good place to start. And the only reason I say web apps is most pen testing firms, the vast majority of the pen testing they do is web apps because it's kind of the most affordable for an organization just experimenting with pen testing, and every organization has a web app that's public and has the largest attack surface. So I would begin with web apps and then also cloud stuff because cloud's getting really popular now. AWS is kind of the king, followed by Azure and then GCP. So that's why I'm making AWS first. I also have more experience with AWS pen testing than I do Azure or GCP. One more quick self-promotion, guys. If you appreciate my content, all this stuff I'm doing for free, you can become a supporter on Kofi, unlock some cool stuff. I just dropped a link for it in the chat. And hey, if you give on Kofi, as long as the bot's working, it will tell me, and I can give you a live thank you for that. But now, we are going to install CloudGoat and Paku. You get this pulled up. Never heard of GCP. GCP is Google's cloud platform. So AWS is Amazon, Azure is Microsoft, and GCP is Google. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you, Silkwe. All right, we're going to get into installing CloudGoat. Hey, Tyler, saw one of your videos. I just want to say thank you. I've been self-studying for 3 years now, but made the most progress this year. Amazing. Hey, well, thank you for dropping in chat and saying that. I appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and start recording for the course. All right, now it's starting to get exciting. We are going to install CloudGoat and Paku in this section. Now, CloudGoat is a vulnerable by design AWS deployment tool. It's going to allow us to deploy different CTF type scenarios in our own AWS account so that we can then hack ourselves, and hey, you can put your blue team hat on and try to defend against yourself afterwards. Paku is sort of like Metasploit for AWS. It allows us to automate a bunch of the commands from enumeration to privilege escalation to looking at EC2s to finding IPs. It's a really cool tool, and I want to show you both of them, and we're going to use both of them throughout this course. But let's go ahead and begin with CloudGoat. A link to this should be in the course notes, but this is all completely free, fully open source. And look at this. You guys see who that contributor is? I think that is like in the level of people who have committed code. I'm not sure, or I think it might be the most recent, but that's me. So I have committed a lot to CloudGoat, but let's walk through this so you understand what you're installing and what is going on. I'll zoom in so you guys can see this real good, but CloudGoat is Rhino Security Labs' vulnerable by design cloud deployment tool. It allows you to hone your cloud cybersecurity skills by creating and completing several CTF style scenarios, etc., etc. So if I scroll down, you can see all of our requirements. So let's first make sure we have all these requirements down. Linux or Mac OS, Windows is not officially supported. I think you can make it work if you use WSL, but just use Kali, it'll work well. Python 3.9 is required. You should have that if you are using Kali and you recently installed it, but we don't have Terraform. All right, so let's first go ahead and install Terraform because we know that it's a requirement. So we'll just go ahead and click this link right here. install Terraform. Now there's a few different ways to install Terraform. I'm going to show you how to do it the easy way and the way that I know works, and that's with a pre-compiled binary. So if we go to appropriate package for our machine, you can see our pre-compiled binaries here. We're not on a Mac OS. We're not on Windows. We are on Linux. We don't need to do this. We'll just go ahead and download the binary, and we are AMD 64. So let me go ahead and download that. We have Terraform downloading. Let's open up our terminal, CD or change directory into our downloads folder. If we ls, we should see Terraform right there, and we can unzip Terraform. All right, now if we run Terraform, you can see that it runs. We have it all there, but now we want to add it to our path so that when we type Terraform anywhere on our machine, even if it's not in our current file path, it will still run Terraform. Now we can do that by doing this. We'll do sudo cp terraform user local bin. Now, if I jump out to a different directory and type Terraform, you can see it still runs. So, mission accomplished. We are on Linux, so that's good. We have Python 3.9 plus installed. We have Terraform installed. We installed the AWS CLI in the previous video, and we're not doing Azure, so we don't need the AZ CLI installed, but we can install JQ. I don't actually think it's a requirement, but I also don't think it's installed on Kali by default. So let's go ahead and install that. That's just a parser. We'll install JQ with sudo apt install JQ. All right. We have now installed all of the things that we need for this. We have some quick start information down here. I'll walk you through how we do all of this. Let me just go ahead and scroll up, and we will install this. Now, there's now a way that you can install this on the command line. You don't have to git clone. Well, it's always on the command line, but you don't have to do it from GitHub. It's actually now a Python package, and we can do it with pipx, which I believe is installed in Kali by default now, which it is. So let's go ahead and do this. Click code, and then copy this right here. Copy URL to clipboard. Go back to our terminal. I'm going to clear, and we'll do pipx install git plus, and then we want to paste in the URL. So once again, pipx, so it's going to manage it as a Python virtual environment for us, install git because it's from GitHub, and then paste in the URL like so, and we will click enter. This will install all the latest Cloud Goat scenarios for us. And while it does this, I'll give you a glimpse of everything that we can do via Cloud Goat, once again, completely free. There's a variety of scenarios, and you can see they're grouped in 3 different difficulties: easy, medium, and hard. If you look at the easy scenarios, you can see, hey, there's this cool Beanstalk one contributed by some guy named Tyler. I don't know who he is, but he seems like a cool dude. And SNS Secrets also contributed by some cool guy named Tyler, but you can contribute your own scenarios. So maybe I'll make a video on my YouTube channel showing how to make your own Cloud Goat scenarios, but you can spin up each one of these scenarios to learn all about AWS pen testing. You can see that Cloud Goat is done. There's a few different things that we need to configure, but we need to first configure them in our AWS account. So if we walk through the quick start right here, pipx install Cloud Goat, we have that done, but now we want to configure it for AWS. But to configure it for AWS, you need what's called an access key and a secret. If you think about a username and a password, the access key in AWS is sort of like the username on the command line interface, and the secret key is sort of like the password on the command line interface. So before we can even configure Cloud Goat, we first need to configure our access key and our secret. Now, if you are ever live streaming, let me just tell you, you don't want to give people your access key and secret because that will give them access to your AWS account. But let me show you how we can configure that. If we go over to here, we can just go to our AWS console. If it would load. There we go. I'm going to click sign into the console. And we are going to create an IAM user. Now, I have a whole section about IAM, so I'm not going to explain it in detail right now, but IAM is essentially how you handle users and groups within AWS. We'll go to search up here and we'll type IAM. Go to users. And you can see we don't have any users here. We might have our root account once it finally loads, but once it loads, or while it's still loading, we can go ahead and create a user. And we can call our user CloudGoat, because this is the user that we are going to use to deploy CloudGoat. We don't need to provide them with access to the AWS Management Console. That's fine, so we'll just call it CloudGoat. And I'm going to move myself so I'm not blocking the buttons that you need to see. So I'll move myself up here. Once you name your user, and I'll zoom in, click Next. And now we can say, hey, what do we want to do? Add user to group, copy permissions, or attach policies directly. What we'll do is just attach a policy directly, and we're just going to give our user administrative access. And the big thing I want to say is you should never launch CloudGoat from a production account. You should only run CloudGoat from a sandbox account specifically for the purpose of running CloudGoat, because it is vulnerable by design. Don't get yourself pwned by being stupid. And so we're going to give our CloudGoat user full administrative access so that it can launch everything that it needs to launch, and we will click Next. All right, once we do that, you can see we have our administrative access, and we will click Create User. Congratulations, you have just created your first IAM user in AWS. From here, we'll go ahead and click into our user, CloudGoat. And now what we want to do is click Security Credentials. From here, we're going to create an access key. And for the access key, our use case is going to be a command line interface. So we'll select CLI. You can say, hey, that's not a good idea. Well, we just YOLO it and say, understand the above recommendations. We're trying to hack our own AWS account anyway, so it is whatever. And we will click Next. And now our tag value, we can just call this CloudGoat again because we're deploying CloudGoat with it. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen just for a moment while I create the access key. Oh, actually, no, I can share my screen. So it shows you the access key right here. Your access key in and of itself is not private, but your secret access key is. So once again, this is sort of like a username, and this is like your password. You don't want to show people your password. But let me go ahead and configure this now as a profile in our terminal. This is going to allow us to interact with the AWS account as this user from within our terminal. Let's open up our CLI right here, and we're going to do AWS configure. We'll just call it profile CloudGoat. So we're configuring credentials, and we're going to call the profile we're configuring CloudGoat. Now, this doesn't have to match our IAM user. This could be anything. This could be Hack Smarter if I wanted to. It doesn't matter. It's just so we know what it's used for. But we'll call it CloudGoat, and we will hit Enter. Now it's going to ask us for our access key ID, so we'll go ahead and copy that. And now it's going to ask you for your secret access key. All right, so you'll want to do that. I'll stop sharing my screen just while I grab mine. But you'll paste that in. It will then ask you for a default region. You can do US-East-1. And then finally, the default output format, you can use JSON. Once you have that configured, we can test it by doing AWS STS get caller identity. I'll explain this command later on. Profile CloudGoat. Basically, get caller identity is a very long way of doing who am I. So in Linux, you type who am I to get your user. With AWS, you have to do this very confusing long command of get caller identity, hit enter. And as long as it works, you can see that we get our user ID, our account number, and our ARN, or our unique identifier of the user that we just authenticated as. So at this point, we have set up the AWS CLI to authenticate to our sandbox account as the CloudGoat user that we just created. Now we can finally set up CloudGoat. I'll jump over to CloudGoat right here, and you can see it encourages us to run CloudGoat config AWS. So let's do that. CloudGoat config AWS. It's going to say, hey, no configuration was found. Do you want to start one right now? And we'll say, yeah. Go ahead and do that. And what's the name of our default AWS profile? Remember, we named our profile CloudGoat, so let's call it CloudGoat. And that's all we have to do. There's one more thing that we need to do, and that is to whitelist our IP address. Now, when you create resources in CloudGoat, you're creating resources like EC2s, which can be web servers. And you probably don't want to put a web server on the internet that is vulnerable by design so that people can come and pwn your AWS account. So the way CloudGoat works is any public resources that it creates, it whitelists it so only your IP address is able to access that. So you can go ahead and copy that command, and we can paste it in. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just while I do it because I think it shows your IP. I'll hit yes. And then I'm going to clear my screen. And then we are done setting up CloudGoat. So we set up CloudGoat. We installed it via the CLI. We created an IAM user with administrative permission so that user can use CloudGoat and deploy the resources for us. We ran CloudGoat config AWS. We set the CloudGoat profile. And finally, we whitelisted our IP address. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and set up Paku. And I shared in the beginning of this one that Paku is sort of like a Metasploit for the cloud. And it's something we're going to use all throughout this course. And I think you'll really enjoy it. So once you have CloudGoat configured, I will see you over in the next video. Boom. All right. I was going to show Paku in that video, but I felt like that video was getting a little bit long. Whoops, I don't want to move that. So, why is this not moving me? There. Did I move this here? Let me fix it. I'm screwing everything up right now. I feel like that video was going to get long if I showed Paku as well, and I want these videos to be easy for people to follow, so that was just CloudGoat. Drop that in my notes, and I'll check out chat in just a moment. And we're going to fix some things. All right, let me check out chat. Is there a checksum for the download? I'm not sure if there is. I hear he does some rap songs from time to time. I do. Hey, welcome. Accidentally click show. Yep. I meant, when is it available? Where will it be? The course will be available on May 12th. It will be on Simply Cyber Academy. It'll be available for a one-time purchase of $20. You pay $20 one time, gives you lifetime access to the course, including all updates. Web app is easier to learn than AWS, I think, Zach, in my opinion. But I want to show you guys like the full course creation in real time. So I created these ahead of time. But you can see this video right here. We need to split that up. So we're going to create a new lesson. And we'll say installing Paku. Click save. I'm going to move that up here. We'll rename this one to installing CloudGoat. And we're going to rename this one again to follow our numbers. We'll save that and we'll update this one to 2.6. So now we have installing CloudGoat. We're going to do installing Paku and then creating free accounts on Cyber and Vone Labs. May 12th is my birthday. Well, happy birthday. That's why I'm making the course on May 12th, just for you. Is AWS Pentesting usually approached from public web apps or compromised creds? That's a good question. Generally, in an AWS pen test, the client will provide you with low-level creds, like an access key and a secret, like I just showed you, and then you'll use that to pivot into their AWS environment. And more of a red team engagement, you're often compromising a web app first, using the web app to get access to the AWS environment, which we have a lab that I'll show you how to do that on. Did I make this website? No. So this is from my friend Jerry at Simply Cyber, but this is actually just Teachable, pro version of Teachable. But okay, guys, I've been talking for 1 hour and 42 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. And then we'll come back and do some more hacking. And keep working on our course. We have a few more videos to knock out. Let me find some good music for us. How about some dual core? Yeah, we'll do some dual core.
So this started like...
All right, guys, let's take like a 5-minute break or so. Then we'll dive back into working on this course together. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Stand up, jump around, do whatever you want. But I'll be right back. I'll turn on some music for you guys to listen to while I'm gone.
Last year we were playing B-sides. Virus from DC949 said to me, hey, drink all the booze, hack all the things. That's how we're doing it this year.
Not every geek with a Commodore 64 can hack into NASA.
This one's dedicated to all the hackers. Yo. Even out, settle scores quick. Our disaster recovery requires even more discs. Put your bytes up, prove it or you forfeit. Got my C64 and we blew it into orbit. M Bison with 8 straight perfects. Overload emotions make hate break circuits. In case you heard, it's a named fake service. Optimize our runtime to escape verdicts. Got an integer scope flow that they can't sign. Passing code, didn't sanitize command lines, landmine. So before they'll see me after, I'm advice star, courage, woke plus velociraptor. Don't prove we're human unless we really have to. My team built schemes that destroy, recapture. Hate what they see, finish this chapter. By the way, we're not any geeks, we hack into NASA. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring. I'm just waiting till my BlackBerry dies, cause I'll replace it with the Raspberry Pi. Don't compare to this track, it makes everything they said dull. Neutralize any threat, turn Red Skull to DevNull. They killed virus writers that we mentioned, but instead they ascended to the VX heavens, then reincarnate as live wires. Still inside we hide ciphers and sign device drivers. Which school will we hit next? They didn't learn the format, so we've got a print F. Next step is a chin check. Freestyles that I spit best, they didn't decrypt yet. I crush internet MCs and rhyme battles. Get your Wi-Fi tackled, hacked by pineapple. I don't think you'll like my Snapple, cause I popped it with vodka in a cyanide capsule. We drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things.
You know there's gonna be security, right?
First we drink all the booze, then hack all the things. Then backdoor the firmware on anything you bring, regardless of the hardware, service or encoding. Connected to the internet and someone's gonna own it. This is for the pirates that clap and love the sound. Attacking from the cloud, then we're back in underground. There's no masking from us now. We pop tour nodes around the globe, track and hunt you down. Hacked on schedule, added to your calendar. Devices online, here comes another challenger. State infiltrated, so undercover. This is for my comrades who stare at the debuggers and trace every buffer. Examining the code flow, haven't been to sleep, better pop another no-dose. I think I'll need a planet-sized urn, cause some men just wanna watch the world burn. Your turn.
Stay out of jail.
Technologically possible, yeah.
Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring.
I mean, these servers have more firewalls than the devil's bedroom.
Hack all the things. Drink all the booze. Hack all the things. Hack all the things. Hack all the things. Things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring. Hack all the things.
Yeah, well, good luck, man.
All right, it's been long enough. Those 4 minutes. We let the song finish out. What is up, everyone? Here, let me get things pulled back up. What do we got left? Installing Paku, and then free accounts in Cyber and Vone Labs. All right, let's knock these out, guys. Pull this over here. Get my VM pulled back up. Do you recommend AWS penetration testing with Kali Linux? Are you familiar with it? Is that a course or you just mean using Kali? I use Ubuntu, to be honest, when I do AWS pen testing, but you can do all of it in Kali, and that's what I'm showing in this course. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Something I'm chewing on. I'm trying to figure out if people would actually want to do it. So, of course, I have this course. The course is only going to be $20 for lifetime access, which is like crazy affordable, plus scholarships for people who can't afford it. But I'm also chewing on the idea of what would like live training look like, you know, like 4 workshops spread across 4 weeks or whatever, maybe 4 or 5. I don't know how many workshops I would need. But it would be limited to maybe 20, 25 people, but it would be maybe $50 a seat or something like that. But it would be all of us in a Zoom call or some type of private call, and I walk through everything in this course, but it's fully interactive. So like at the end of each section, it's Q&A. You have questions about something we did, or you have additional questions about a lab that we're on. It's fully interactive. It's not just you watching my talking face on the screen. The cool thing about what you guys are doing, you're watching the live stream. So this is somewhat interactive, but people who go through the course, it's just watching me talk. But it would be all of us in a call together, me walking you through everything, but you can talk right back to me, and it's more of a conversation as I guide you through it. If that's something you guys think people would actually enjoy, let me know in chat. Because I'd have to think through practically what that looks like. But why do I use Ubuntu? I use Ubuntu because that's just what I use. I mean, it's just different distros of Linux. So my work computer is Ubuntu. I do have Kali and a VM, but I mainly just use my host machine. Oh, you mean the book? Yeah, actually, be right back. You mean this book? So this book is actually created by my boss. Ben is my boss. He wrote this book, AWS Pentesting with Kali Linux. It's definitely solid. The only downside of this book is it was written, let me see, in 2019. So that's what, 6 years ago now. So there's a lot of good things. Like the book goes in depth on a bunch of different things, but some of it's just a little bit outdated, right? Because it's cloud and a lot of things have changed in the past 6 years, but the core concepts in this book is solid. I think like the lab information you'd have to update, but if you read this book alongside this course, you would learn a lot through the process. But yeah, I have it right here. Let me set it back over here. Oh, I had issues recording my screen with OBS and Ubuntu. Text on the terminal is kind of blurry. No, I haven't had that issue. Like, I'm on Ubuntu right now. My host machine on both my personal computer and work computer is Ubuntu. So I'm doing all of this right now from Ubuntu. Kali, I'm just running as a VM inside of Ubuntu. But all the streaming I'm doing right now is coming from Ubuntu. I only use Windows for gaming on my other partition. Hey, Tyler, new subscriber. Well, it's good to have you here. What up, Brew? Good to have you as well. Personally, I like to read, not to watch, and live is harder to follow. It is. And that's why it's like, if you guys purchase the course, it'll be a lot easier to follow than my rambling and doing things live in real time and setting things up. The course will be very smooth with good notes underneath every single section that you'll be able to follow along with. But you guys get to see you guys get to be the studio audience. Bro, go back to Ubuntu and VS Code to take notes. I did that in a few streams, didn't I? I remember doing that on stream. All right, let me go ahead. We're going to talk about installing Paku now. So let me get that pulled up. I'll drop a link for you guys if you want to follow along. And we will dive into Paku. Okay, we are almost done setting up our lab environment. We got CloudGoat installed in the previous video, and now we're going to dive into Paku. Let me go ahead and share my screen. The link for this will be in the notes for this module, but Paku is sort of like Metasploit for the cloud. It automates a lot of the enumeration and exploitation, and what we're going to do in this course for each one of the labs is we're going to do the labs the manual way and then the Paku way, because it's good to know both of them. But a real quick introduction to Paku. It is an open source AWS exploitation framework designed for offensive security testing against cloud environments, created and maintained by Rhino. It allows pen testers to exploit configuration flaws, etc., etc., etc. If you look over the contributors, just to show you that I somewhat know what I'm talking about, you can see that also on here, I'm one of the top recent contributors to Paku. I've done a lot of updates to it. I've created modules for it, but Paku really is an incredible tool, and we can install it with pipx right here to get the latest updates. Now, you can also do pip3 install it, but that only goes by the latest release, which I think is 1.6.0. There's been a lot of updates and a new release hasn't created yet. So if you want the latest updates, including some cool modules I've added that will make your life easier, you want to install it with pipx right here. We can go ahead and copy this command. We'll do Control-C, jump over to our terminal, and get it installed. It will determine the package name, and it should successfully determine Paku, which it did. We'll give it just a second, and while it does that, I give you kind of an idea of everything that we can do with Paku. So there's some basic commands that we are able to do. We can list the available modules. If you think about Metasploit, you can also list things there. We get help on different modules. We can run them. We can also run Paku from the CLI. You have all these plugin modules that you plug and go, essentially. You can also create your own modules. There's some contribution guidelines if you want to contribute to Paku, but I will just say this. For those of you who are trying to start a career as a pen tester, a really cool thing that you can do is contribute to open source projects. So I've already showed you CloudGoat. Here's Paku. Maybe you don't have to contribute an entire module, but maybe you can improve the documentation. Maybe as I'm going through Paku, you notice something that's a little bit confusing in the wiki or in the README, and you can open a pull request, suggest a change, and when it gets approved, you can officially put on your resume that you are a contributor to Paku, an open source AWS exploitation framework, and that just looks really cool on your resume. Over here, you can see that Paku is now installed, and if I run Paku, I'm going to zoom out a little bit just because it's going to show a lot of text, but we'll type Paku. And you can see it right here. No database found. We're setting it up. We'll name this new session CloudGoat. And now we have everything here. We can import keys. We can set keys. We'll get to that as we get hands-on with Paku, but I'll show you the cool things it can do. Let's say we want to learn about IAM, and that is our permissions within AWS, what we can do and what resources we have access to. Well, in Paku, if we type search IAM, you can see everything that we can do with IAM. So we can enumerate IAM roles in a separate AWS account. We can add API keys to other users. We can add passwords to other users. We can elevate our privileges. We can enumerate different privileges. We can actually brute force permissions to see what permissions we have. We can decode access keys to get account numbers. Like all of this that would take many, many, many different AWS CLI commands, Paku automatically does it for you just by running these modules on the keys that you have set up. And we're going to get hands-on with Paku all throughout this course. So by the time you are done with this course, you'll be comfortable with CloudGoat, setting up your own environments and continuing to learn on your own, and you'll be comfortable with Paku, using Paku to automate a lot of the really boring and kind of hard to remember commands in AWS to make your life as a pen tester and your life as a student a lot easier. So once you have Paku installed and CloudGoat installed, join me in the next video where I'm going to introduce you to two platforms that are free, but Cyber and Vone Labs. They have a bunch of different scenarios that you can spin up in their environment to learn more about AWS pen testing, and that will finally be the conclusion of setting up our own lab environment. So get Paku and CloudGoat installed, and I will see you in the next video. Boom. Let me stop sharing again. Let me just drag this video real quick over to the right folder, and then I'll check out chat. Installing Paku. All right, please can I have the course syllabus? I will show it to you. I don't have a way to like export the course syllabus, otherwise I would. But I can show you the course. Here's everything that we are going through. Once again, course will release on May 12th, $20 for lifetime access. We filmed all of this tonight. We're currently in section 2.0, configuring the lab environment. We did this. We did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. We have one more section in Module 2. From there, we're going to learn about IAM, the basics of IAM for pen testers, hands-on labs. We're going to learn about S3 buckets, the basics, S3 for pen testers, hands-on labs. We're going to learn about Lambda functions. It's kind of similar format, hands-on labs. We're going to learn about EC2s, introduction and hands-on labs, AWS Prerequisites. Then finally, 2 capstone challenges, and then a course conclusion. So that's everywhere that we're going in this course. Once again, once it releases, it'll be available for $20 for lifetime access. Super affordable. I mean, you won't find another AWS course that even comes close to that when it comes to affordability. And if you want to be updated on the name of it, you can check it out there. Let me look through chat. Yeah, just start. Don't get caught up in distro to use. That's correct, Angular. So I can't believe how much you are giving back to the community, Tyler, despite having a family and full-time job. Hey, thank you. I love teaching. I love helping other people learn. Do you know about CyberArk? I do. I haven't done much with it. I do not have any resources on it, but Cyber might, or CyberArk, if you look them up themselves, they might. You guys made Paku. Yeah. Paku is created by Rhino. I help maintain Paku, and I've contributed a lot to Paku. What's with the boom? You mean like this? Do you mean the boom stand? What do you mean by boom? If you mean the boom stand, it's just because I'm not always recording. So like when I'm not recording, I go like this. And then when I record, I just pull the microphone back down in front of me. Why the name Paku? Well, you think about AWS, right? Paku are fish that swim in the Amazon and they bite stuff. So that's why Paku. Completely unrelated question, but will you do a short tutorial on how to set up a site with a custom domain? Currently working on a WordPress site, but YouTube loves showing unhelpful channels. Yeah, not right now I won't, but I definitely will. Otherwise, in my phishing course, I show all of that. I was just watching an interview with Intel Broker and Crazy Hacker, and he was talking about how he uses it. Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? Paku is a cool tool, and you guys will get really familiar with it throughout this course. And hey, Kofi Streambot, jump in chat. I will just double what Kofi Streambot just said. If you enjoy my content and you want to support what I do, all this free accessible stuff I give out, come support me on Kofi. Give a one-time gift, join the membership. There's cool benefits if you join the membership. One cool benefit if you join the Hack Smarter support plan is when this course is in early access on Monday, May 5th is my target. You'll get full access to the course, and I will design the course based on your feedback before it fully releases. So check out my Kofi. Become a member. Hack the planet. All right, now we're going to create free accounts on Cyber and Vone Labs. Let me get some things set up for that. And maybe, I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I don't think I need to show people how to literally make an account. Like it's self-explanatory. If you ever signed up for anything, it'll be easy, but I'm just going to introduce the platform. I think would make more sense. Okay, I'm going to get Vone Labs pulled up. What up, Hoi Manoy? Good to have you here, my friend. I'm teaching through my course right now. We're making it in real time. And I'm getting things ready for the next video. We're about to wrap up soon. Just getting everything set up on my end for the next video. Almost ready, guys. Have to access some MFA prompts and all that fun stuff. Okay. Suggest depth resources for mobile pen testing. So Hack the Box Academy actually has some Android stuff. When I learned mobile pen testing, I mainly just literally went through the resources on Hack Tricks and then did the challenges on Hack the Box for mobile. Tegwiz said, do you see yourself being a pen tester for a long while or forever, or do you see yourself going into red teaming eventually? I'll be honest with you, I don't really know. And for those of you who might be confused by his question, pen testing and red teaming are different, which a lot of people confuse them. As a pen tester, which is what I do now, it's more like find all the vulnerabilities. You don't have to bypass EDR and things like that. It's just overall time scoped engagement. Find as many things as you can for the client. In a red team engagement, you emulate an APT or an advanced persistent threat. There's a focus on stealth and evasion and being as quiet as you can. I'm a pen tester. I do some red teaming. So like when there's red team engagements, I do those. I help with them a lot, social engineering and all of that. It's just not the bulk of what I do. But red team means like a more advanced version of pen testing. My ideal job, which I don't know how this will ever come about. If anyone wants to hire me for this ideal job, talk to me. But I love teaching and I love pen testing. So my ideal job would allow me to do both, where I could pen test, because I think it's hard to teach something you're not actively doing. So I think what gives my teaching credibility is this is what I do for my job. I'm not just saying, hey, learn how to hack because it's the cool thing. I literally hack. That's my job. That's what I do Monday through Friday. And that gives credibility to my teaching. But I also love teaching. And the way my work goes now is my teaching is limited to super late at night after my kids go to bed. So if I could somehow combine pen testing and teaching for a full-time thing where I'm not, working 12 hours a day like I do now when I stream, that would be amazing. So maybe one day down the road I can figure that out, but that'd be my ideal job. Where's the phishing course? Phishing course will come out. I don't remember the release dates, but join the Hacksmarter Discord. All the release dates are there. Any advice for a software dev, 10 years experience getting into pen testing or red teaming? Been doing a bunch on Try Hack Me. It would be similar to other people, although focus on web apps. I don't know what you were a software dev in, but I would highlight that and highlight web apps in particular, because a junior pen testing job is going to be very much web app focused. And then also get the OSCP if you don't have it, just because that's unfortunately still the gold standard. All right, so the courses here, I'll tell you guys when the courses are going to release real quick before we film this video. Okay, so this is my Kofi. If you join the $35 a month plan, you get access to all my courses as they release. My Intro to Hacking Methodology is already released and that is free. We are right now filming the Intro to AWS Pentesting course coming out May 12th. Hands-on Phishing, I'm targeting July 2025 for release. Practical CVE Hunting is September 2025. And then finally, Pentest Report Writing is November 2025. And those will be my 2025 courses. I'll come out with more in 2026. But that's the courses. Each of them, like here's a rough idea for pricing that I have right now. Intro to AWS Pentesting, $20. Once again, no subscription. You just pay one time. You get lifetime access. Hands-on Phishing will also probably be $20. I'm going to teach you how to set up everything for infrastructure. I was originally going to do some of this on YouTube, but like legit, the things I'm going to show you in this course would get strikes against my YouTube channel. So they'll only be available on the course. I don't think I'll be able to live stream that course just because, once again, YouTube will come after me because in some ways it's Threat Actor Academy. You got to be careful with some of the stuff I'm going to show you. Practical CV Hunting will probably be $15. Pentest Report Writing will be $15 or $20. Yeah, thank you, TechWiz, for the nice words. Really appreciate it. All right, guys, let's knock out this final video, and then we'll call it a night. And then I'll be back on tomorrow night, and we're gonna grind our way through this course. I'm live streaming every single night until this course is complete. I'm aiming for 7 days of live streaming. Might be 7 to 10 days, but we're gonna finish this course. One more drink of water. All right. Time to record. You are almost towards the end of setting up your own lab for learning AWS pen testing. We have set up CloudGoat, we have set up Paku, and now I want to introduce you to 2 platforms I use personally that I really enjoy, and they both have free tiers that give you access to hands-on labs. The first one is called Cyber, and the second one is called Vone Labs. Let me show these to you. So this will be in the course notes, but you just go to cyber.com, notice it's cybr.com, and click sign up. The sign up process is super simple. I don't think I need to show you how to enter an email and a password and confirm your email. I believe in you. You can do it. Sign up for an account on Cyber. It's not going to cost you anything to create an account, but I want to show you all the resources you have access to on Cyber. Now, I do have a premium account. The premium account, if we look over at pricing, I got grandfathered in because I got my membership a while ago, but you can see for monthly, you're looking at $20 a month. For yearly, it's only $16 a month, $200 billed annually. But with a premium license, I'll show you that first. If I go over to all courses, a premium license gives you unlimited access to all their courses as well as all their labs. So you can see all of the different courses that Christoph has. Super nice guy. I've interviewed him on my YouTube channel, but these are in-depth, super well done courses. A lot of good things on the blue team side of things as well. So his courses are amazing. I enjoy them. Additionally, you get access to all of the hands-on labs. Now, these are all labs, sort of like CloudGoat, but whereas CloudGoat, you spin it up in your own AWS account, these labs are spun up in their AWS account. So you don't have to worry about budget alerts or accidentally leaving resources running. They do all of it for you. And if I click free labs right here, I want to show you all the different free labs that they have. They have everything from red team to blue team. They have foundational labs. They have some DevOps type labs, but you can see we have 2 pages of completely free labs. So if you want to get ahead in the course, you can knock out some of these labs, especially the foundational labs. They're not about pen testing, they're not about blue teaming, they're just about getting used to AWS. Once again, these 2 pages of labs are completely free, no strings attached. You have access to them with your free tier Cyber account. Check it out. I think you will enjoy it. And we'll be kicking off the next section with a lab from Cyber. And I'm going to introduce you to it. I'm going to teach through it. I'm going to add a little bit to the lab than what they show, but you'll get hands-on with Cyber in the next section. Another platform I want to introduce you to is Vone Labs. Now, Vone Labs is another incredible platform that is sort of like Hack the Box for the cloud, is how I picture it. And they have labs on AWS, Azure, and GCP. So what I want you to do right now is sign up for a free account. We're also going to showcase a lab from Vone Labs in this course. So I have 1 lab from Cyber, 1 lab from Vone Labs, and then the rest of the labs are from CloudGoat, because I think it's important for you to know how to spin them up on your own, but also want to give you these platforms for continual learning. Once you sign up for a free account on Vone Labs, you'll get access to this. Now, once again, I have a premium account, which gives me access to Cyber ranges. They're kind of like red team labs, but for the cloud. I don't know if I can click that. Here, I'm going to stop sharing just for a moment. Okay, I can share it. I've completed some of the labs. I didn't want it to give the flags, right? So you have Thunderdome. Thunderdome is a red team lab. See if I can zoom in for you guys a little bit. But Thunderdome is a red team lab covering AWS, Azure, and GCP. Electra is an AWS lab. Kind of a little bit of bragging. I got first blood on that. So they released on like a Friday, and I spent the entire weekend at night working on it, and I got first blood. I was the first person to pwn the Electra AWS red team lab, but that's only if you have a premium membership. If we go over to the Academy, there's a bunch of labs that are completely free. So if we change the tier right here to free, and click latest labs, as you did automatically, and we can change our platform to AWS. And now if we scroll through, similar thing here, you click into these labs, you can deploy them right there. You don't have to spin them up in your own account, and you have access to all of these labs completely free. Scroll through, you see there's a bunch of them. The other cool thing about these labs is they have full detailed walkthroughs for every single lab. So if I click, for example, Breach in the Cloud, and I click Start Pwning, and I turn the lab on, even if you're brand new to AWS, it's a detailed written walkthrough that you can follow along with and make your notes out of it. So even if you're new, you can learn a lot from both Vone Labs and Cyber, and I'm going to be showcasing both of them in here. If you want a subscription to Vone Labs, the price I think is about $200 a year. I don't know if it will show me the price since I'm already logged in, but let's go and open up Incognito and we'll do Vone Labs pricing. I think it's very similar to Cyber for the premium membership. And there it is, $200 for Pro Annual. That gives you access to all of the labs, including the Cyber ranges I just showed you. But you can start with free. Both Cyber and Vone Labs do all the free labs. That gives you a bunch of content plus Cloud Goat. You really don't have to spend any money unless you want to. And one more thing. Before you buy a subscription, stay tuned to the end of the course. I might have a cool gift for you if you make it all the way through the course. So stay tuned to the end of the course and you'll be able to check that out. For now, I need you to create a free account on Cyber and a free account on Vone Labs because we're going to be using both of those platforms throughout this course for 2 of the lab environments. So set up those accounts and I will see you in the next section where we get hands-on with actual hacking and we're going to dig into IAM together, or identity and access management. I'm looking forward to it. I will see you there. All right, let me grab this video, throw it to the folder, and then I'll check out chat. Rename this. And turn chat back on. What is up, y'all? Let me scroll up. So many classes I want to take, so little time. I agree, Hoimanoi, but the class you should start with is Intro to AWS Pentesting on May 12th, $20 for lifetime access. That's where you should start. Jean said, I'm going through your methodology course tonight just to get up to date. Beautiful. Let me know what you think about it. Tyler, does ténébré mean darkness in French? Because in French it's ténébré. So ténébré, I'll give you guys the meta behind my name. Here, I'll try and chat here as well. If you type in ténébré into Google, it does mean darkness. It's Latin, but it's a Latin word for darkness or shadows. Now, I don't want to preach at you guys. So like I'm a Christian. I follow Jesus. I was a pastor for 10 years, but the purpose of this channel is not to convert you or preach at you. But this makes sense when I explain the name ténébré. If you've heard of Good Friday, which just happened, if you followed the Christian calendar, today's Easter Sunday. A few days ago was Good Friday. On Good Friday, at many churches, you have a service of darkness. Like, it's very dark. Often you leave the service in silence and everything up on the stage is dark. Well, that's a ténébré service, or a service of darkness, or a service of shadows. And I thought ténébré is a really cool hacker name because it means darkness. So that's the origin of my ténébré username you'll see on different platforms. We'll wait on your workshops update as well. Hope you make up your mind on having workshops. Yeah, so I want to have workshops, like live Q&A type workshops where we're all hanging out together. The only challenge right now is just my limited time. But I always thought that no one would join me for a late night workshop because like I couldn't start the workshop till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time when my kids are in bed. But there's been like over 100 of you this entire time across the 3 different platforms. So apparently even late at night, people would join for workshops. So I'll experiment with that once we get this course done. Do I know of any pure red teaming labs or platforms? Do you mean cloud specific? Cloud specific, I'd recommend Vone Labs and Cyber, and then try Hack Me, Hack the Box, Vone Lab for the on-prem stuff. Yeah, Sebastian, that's what I did before I switched into Cyber. I left pastoral ministry during the COVID pandemic because I was burnt out on people, and started my first IT job back during COVID as IT support level 1, and somehow social engineered myself to a pen testing job. But guys, I just want to say thank you. It's been 40 days. Y'all still showed up. Didn't know if anyone was going to be on here. It's been 40 days since I've done anything, but I really appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me tonight. My plan, unless I like get sick or something, is I'll be back, same place, same time tomorrow. We're going to keep working through this course. I'm going to finish this course, edit the videos, get it released on May 12th. And hopefully, even if you're watching the live stream, you purchase a course to support me, and then you go through the very much polished version of the course rather than this like ghetto live stream, behind the scenes live studio audience version of the course. What we'll do right now is let's find someone to raid. Haven't done this for a while. See if I remember how to do it. If you are watching on YouTube or LinkedIn, you should come join me on Twitch. Oh, cool. We'll go raid Blaze. Come join the Twitch stream so that you can be part of this raid. I just dropped my Twitch link, but it's hack_smarter over on Twitch. We have right now about 90 people watching on the different platforms. Gosh, stupid ads. So like there's 90 of you total, but there's 18 on Twitch. So all of you come over to Twitch. Even if you don't have a Twitch account, you can still be part of the raid. But I need to get logged in. There we go, I'm logged in. Let me set up this raid and we'll go join him. Blaze will know who I am. Make sure you guys say hack smarter, not harder. He'll know who we are. But thank you again for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll keep knocking out this course. Tell a friend to come join. Do raid Blaze bits. All right, raid has been created. You guys join the raid. Hack smarter, not harder. Once we do the raid, I am going to sign off. But thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I will see you tomorrow night. We'll learn more about AWS. We'll keep filming this course. Thank you for being here.